Hi everyone, welcome to this Google Digital Garage training session on writing for social media. My name is Benedict. I'm a trainer for Google's free skills training program, Google Digital Garage. Just a bit about myself, I'm an experienced coding specialist and digital skills trainer, as well as having a background in the digital creative industry and worked in that sector for over 20 years. I would also like to introduce our amazing moderator, Glenn. Glenn is also a Google Digital Garage coach and will be interacting with you and answering just about all of your questions via the instant chat to the right. You can identify the moderator by his name, Glenn, as well as a little blue spanner next to his name. Now, just before we start, I just wanted to call out a few things to help you today. Firstly, if you are having any trouble viewing the webinar right now or at any stage, please do try refreshing your page. If you would like to join the instant chat today, and please do, great opportunity to interact and communicate with us and ask your questions and everything. You do need a YouTube account, which you can very easily set up by clicking on the in the box on the right there as well. We'll be pausing throughout the session, and Glenn will kindly be passing on some of the questions across to me. So please do feel free to fire away with your questions throughout. Just to let you know as well, we are running this Google Digital Garage virtual training as part of a broader offering of courses. If you would like to check out our schedule of upcoming webinar training, please see the information on this in the description below, which links you through to our website. Also, we are very excited today to be delivering this webinar in partnership with Wenta today. And we welcome all the guests that they have invited to join this Google Digital Garage training. I will now read out a short introduction on behalf of Wenta before we start. We're a leading not-for-profit social enterprise that has been supporting small businesses for over 37 years. We provide free business advice, free skills training, webinars, and workshops, as well as affordable workspace in locations across Hertfordshire and Enfield. In response to COVID-19, we've developed a wide range of new webinars specifically designed for anyone considering self-employment as an option for them, or for existing small business owners looking to enhance their skills to rebuild or grow their business. We've partnered with Google Digital Garage to provide this free Get Your particular one on writing for social media on Google training session. So through our combined partnership, we aim to help small business owners improve their digital presence and grow their businesses online. And their website is https://wenta.co.uk. Okay, excellent. I just want to welcome some of the people I'm seeing here right in front of me at the moment. Danish Keresh, sorry, my pronunciation, I'll do my best here. Welcome from Pakistan, excellent. Dan Hinchcliffe, hey, welcome. And then we got the one I can get closest to is Alamgir Hussain. Welcome from Bangladesh, excellent. Beatrice, welcome from the UK, excellent. And also we've got O'Neill from the Philippines, welcome. Benjamin from Zambia, welcome. And Rosario from Argentina, excellent. Vincent, okay, great. Sorry, that was just a question there from Vincent. And then Malvian from Ukraine, excellent. Welcome here, especially during these times. And let me just see now who else. Caroline from West Sussex, excellent. I don't know how to pronounce your name. Echo, okay. All right. Okay, excellent. So welcome to all of you. Sorry if there's, and Abian from Indonesia, if I didn't mention your name already, and Adrian from Indonesia, and June from UK. Excellent. So welcome to all of you, and it's wonderful to have all of you here for this particular talk in partnership with Wenta. So this is a great opportunity. It's wonderful to have all of you here. Diana from Bulgaria, I can't stop it now. William from Londoner, and Yagmur from Turkey, and Martin from UK, Tara from Pakistan. Okay, I better stop. Okay, but welcome to all of you. And of course, obviously, Glenn will be answering and welcoming to all of you as well. So all of that, now that we've covered all of those different sides and we've finished the introduction particularly and reading on behalf of Wenta, let us now get started with writing for social media. Okay. Now, today we will particularly help you with, firstly, we're going to actually look at what a brand tone of voice is. You know, it's a crucial primary step for anyone writing on social media. And we'll also look at the building blocks for shaping your own brand tone of voice. Secondly, we're going to cover some principles for improving your writing on social media. I mean, it's a real skill, but we have got some tips, and we really do hope these will help. Finally, we're going to cover some of our favorite tools for content creation, and we've picked ones that won't break the bank, particularly, in other words, some which are free, of course, and some which cost a little bit of money. Okay, now, there is now free one-to-one mentoring, which is a great opportunity. At present, it's only in the UK. So, you know, we hope eventually this will expand across the whole world. It'll be wonderful when it does and everything. But at present, it's only in the UK. So if you work for a small business or charity, or if you run or you own a small business or charity, great opportunity. You can communicate with us. You can communicate with one of us, and you can speak to us about your particular company, how it's going, the progress of it and everything, getting feedback from us and suggestions whilst you're building up your particular company. So great opportunity, and it's free of charge. There is no charge whatsoever. So great opportunity. Thank you very much, Glenn, for providing the link there, which is fabulous. So that's a great opportunity. At the moment, it's only in the UK, I'm afraid, but hopefully this will expand. All right, let us now get started with the first one here, defining your brand on social media. Okay, now, what is a brand tone of voice? Let's think about this carefully. You know, we'll describe it as the way your brand or business would speak if it were a real person like you or me. Okay, so it's the words they would use, how they would behave, how they would respond in certain situations, and how they would dress and everything. We've got an example there with a picture of some of my colleagues there, one of my colleagues there in the background talking to someone there. And of course, again, that is so much the brand tone of voice. And it's easier to imagine when you're speaking directly to someone. It's a little bit more difficult when you imagine with your company speaking to someone. So we're going to play around with this idea to help you get a feel for this, for the brand tone of voice. Okay. Now, the personality of your brand or business, if you think about it, you know, that's something, if you were as a person, when you're communicating with someone, that you show your personality through your communication. In the same way, your company has a particular kind of personality, the personality of your brand or your business. So it's the way your brand or business would speak if it were a person. Okay. All right. To give you an, you know, you imagine it, the more you can imagine it, the more you can sort of put this all together. So if your business or brand were a celebrity, let me put it this way, who would it be and why? Now, we've got 3 examples here, but of course, these aren't the only examples, of course. Obviously, you can think about your own particular preference. If you can communicate that now with Glenn, the particular kind of celebrity that you would choose. Now, obviously, and don't worry about copying that, Glenn. I'll have a quick check as I go through. So do communicate that with both of us, and it'll be wonderful to see that. But the point is, you don't have to limit to James Corden, who's personable, humble, funny, George Clooney, sophisticated, laid back, smooth, or Beyonce, strong, empowered, alluring. Of course, as you know, there's many different celebrities, and you can be using one of these celebrities that you know, which really you feel personalizes, you could say, your brand or your company, and the way it would stand out from other companies. So who would your business celeb be? As Glenn states, it's there. Who would it be? Who would represent your... Aha, Charlotte, we got Beyonce. Okay, excellent. So that's strong, empowered, alluring communication and everything. Excellent. And the personality. Thank you, Charlotte. So don't forget, a great opportunity. Do share with us. And the big thing is, of course, you're making your brand memorable, really stands out from other brands and appeals to your target audience. And the element of consistency to keep with these different things. Excellent. We've got Cornetta Oprah. Excellent. Oprah Winfrey. Excellent. Really, that's wonderful. And then we've got Yagmur. Ryan Reynolds, really excellent, really good. And then Sandra's got Clooney for sure. That's the yeah, particularly the sophisticated, laid back, smooth kind of element. Helen Montidon, excellent. Yes. James Corden, health epicure Emma Watson. Yeah, that's an interesting one. Of course, I remember the Harry Potter ones and everything. That's of course where I first saw Emma Watson. And then Francesca. Sorry, I'll let Glenn answer that question. Ada's the Olsen twins, excellent. And then Landa Al Pacino. Yeah. Okay, great. This is wonderful. And we've got Nikanda there with Rowan Atkinson. ABBA with Barack Obama. Yes. William Omoni with Denzel Washington, excellent. Realist, fighter, and problem solving. Thank you. That's great when you actually provide it. Benjamin with George Clooney and Syed with Shakruk Khan. Yes, absolutely. So I'm going to leave these for now because this is great. It's wonderful, your communication, because it's the more you can communicate with and contribute, the more you're thinking about all these different things, which is just wonderful. So that's a starter to get you started thinking about these different things. And the point is, over time, it might change. Give yourself time to mull this over, to try and work out what your personality is, what your brand's personality is, which is so important. Okay. Thank you so much for your contribution there. So 4 steps to help you develop. Now, this is really developing your brand tone of voice. Okay. Now, we've divided into 4 main steps that we think are helpful for shaping a tone of voice for your brand across the web. And we're going to dig a bit deeper into each one of these now. All right. So they've got firstly, brand values. Second, user pen portrait. Third, how you speak. And fourth, choosing your words carefully and everything. Okay. Now I'm going to go through these carefully. I've actually got quite a lot of time in this talk because we've got not too many slides to cover. So what does your brand or business stand for? Now, the big thing is, what are your brand's values? What do you feel is really important? What do you stand for? Which is a very important element. What are your principles of your company? And what kind of elements do you represent for the customer as well, of course, which is so important? Is it excellent customer service? Is it the best sort of atmosphere and everything for them to work in, or something like that? Or unbiased to reporting, so you're getting full details and everything. So there's many different possibilities with these, but it's particularly your company's values and what you particularly stand for and what you offer that other companies can't offer. So there's bringing in, of course, as well, the unique selling point of your company, what they call USP. So, of course, these are different from just your mission statement or the facts of what you do. It's why you do it and what you really stand for. It's a great first step because it'll go on to shape your tone of voice. All right. Okay, we're going to provide some examples now. Okay, 2 examples of some brand values. All right. Now, although these brands sell similar products, they are both actually, their brand image and purposes are quite different. So we've got Nico's Pizzeria and we've got Hathaway Legal. All right. So we've got now with Nico's Pizzeria making quality pizza with fresh ingredients, provide excellent customer service, and it's fast and reliable home delivery or takeaway. All right. Now, Hathaway Legal, as you know, someone representing you, standing up and being your attorney and everything, to defend yourself or stand up on behalf of you, legally speaking. Of course, here there's certain things that you tend to go for. There's someone you can trust and everything. So they dedicate the highest level of diligence to each case. We believe that our clients deserve a quick response, and we only hire top lawyers who have trained at prestigious institutions. Now, of course, these are different. Of course, pizzeria, to the extent that you go there, you want best food, good quality, but you go there and you eat it and that's it. But Hathaway Legal, and of course things like speed and all the rest and good quality. Hathaway Legal is, to a certain extent, they have a similarity, the quality of the food and everything, the quality of the legal service, but it's different to the extent that this person will be standing up and talking on your behalf. So you could say with these different kinds of industries, they tend towards slightly, different things that you're looking for. But at the same time, these companies have actually chosen what represents them best. So in the same way, if you think about your particular company, okay, so if you think about, in fact, 3 things that would actually define your company, what 3 things define your company? All right. Now here we've got Nico's Pizzeria: quality, customer service, fast and reliable. Those are the most important elements. Hathaway Legal is diligence, quick response, and top lawyers. So think that through. What 3 things? If you can communicate that with us, it's a great starting point, because I know it's bringing it down to just 3, but it gets you started and thinking and summarizing it down to that. Okay. I'll come back to that. Glenn will copy some of the different ones. Excellent. We've got William there. Integrity, expertise, and professionalism. Great stuff. And of course, Glenn will keep me updated on those, but do think of that carefully and then share them with Glenn. All right. Sorry, actually, I've seen Sarah's already. Adaptable, listening, client-focused. Excellent. The point is, the most important thing is that this fits beautifully with what you provide, which is excellent. Excellent. All right. So having said that, I will move a little bit forward, but I will still keep my eye open if there's any more which add on here. So how would you describe a core member of your audience? The big thing is, we talk about in all our talks, we always talk about know your audience. And it might sound a little bit like, oh God, they're going on about my audience. But the point is, you have to know your audience as much as possible. There's a one well-known quote. I'm not quite sure exactly who said this, but it's a well-known one. It's everyone is no one. To the extent that you really have to have worked out who your clients are and who you're targeting. Because the more you go for just everyone, it is kind of like you're getting no one. So you've got to work out what they're actually, who those clients are, and what you represent, and what you offer and everything. So those things are so important. I'm going to have a quick look down. Don't worry about copying them, Glenn. So Kirsty, honest reporting, balanced perspectives, and engaging listener. Excellent. Ada's Attic Vintage. Excellent. So quality over quantity, very important. Eco-friendly and fast, reliable, worldwide shipping. Yeah. Excellent. Cornetta, client-centered, compassionate, and non-judgmental. Certainly something we need nowadays. Benjamin, professionalism, adaptable and reliable service. Excellent. Thank you so much, Sarah, Kirsty, Ada, Cornetta, and Benjamin. Thank you so much for those contributions. There will be no doubt more. Don't worry about it. Don't have a chance to mention to each of them, but it's a great thing to think these things through. All right. So once you've done all of those things, or those 3 different elements, the next element is you're going to go for user pen portrait. Now, I can see quite long, but it's actually really very useful. It'll really help you think about your audience and therefore develop your tone of voice to make sure it's on the right track. Now, in marketing speak, we call these pen portraits, okay? If you think about it, you're sketching this person, because to a large extent you are. You're not sitting in an underground sketching the person opposite on the underground, no, but you're sketching, you're bringing to life for you as well. That's the whole point, bringing to life this person. What kind of job does this person do? Where does this person live? What kind of things does this person like and prefer? And does this person have what do they like to do in their spare time? Or what do they have a pet? What's its name? The more you can make it vivid and real for yourself, the more you can sort of make sure that you're going in the right direction. Now, obviously, it may sound a little bit silly, but the more detail you can create in your pen portraits, the better. and, like pet name, how do they get around, favorite foods, political stance, all of those things can be really important. Things like married or unmarried. I can tell you, being married, there's quite a change when you are married and then you have your own children, and then you've got to make sure they get to the right schools, and then suddenly the area is so important, which never used to be, and all these different things, it changes over time. So keeping all of those things into context and with your pen portrait really helps. Now, by understanding the pen portraits, you can write as though you were speaking directly to your readers, creating text, that is more relevant and really approachable. So this is the idea you envisage, that you're speaking to that person that you've created in your imagination. Now, I understand that, of course, maybe a lot of your companies are really big. And if it's a really big company, you will have many different divisions of that company. You know what I mean? You'll have some people who are that particular type of client, and you'll be targeting that particular type of client. So you're dividing it up into different groups. I understand that absolutely, but don't forget, there will always be the majority. Who are the majority? If you can have a sort of majority of the majority of the people who are your clients, and build that up, and then of course build up the other ones, the sort of segregation ones of the that can help. Okay, here's the quotation I mentioned before, which is create content for everyone, create content for no one. You've got to really work out who you're actually targeting. Now, so for example, if you really dig deep, you can normally begin to paint a picture of what your average user, this is the thing, is your average user for the main clients. And that's really important. For example, we've got a brand like Adidas or Nike target their content to people who are interested in sport or finance or fitness, but there's even more detail, of course, there. And of course, we're just talking generally just to get started in your process, because the more detail, the better. Okay, I'm going to provide you now two different examples, okay? Just to give you an example, to give you a feel for it, to give you an idea, all right? So, we're going back to Nico's Pizzeria and Hathaway Legal. All right, so I'm going to read these now. Actually, I'm going to take myself off the screen just so you can see it a little bit better. So we've got Nico's Pizzeria. So we've got Simon, young, single, professional, in his late 20s, works full-time in advertising, living in Brighton, leads a very busy work and social life, has a big appetite for adventure, a keen athlete who enjoys playing football, but also goes to his local bar with his mates to watch televised sporting events. So that's Simon, to give you a sort of rough idea. Then there's Sally with Hathaway Legal. So this is their persona that they've built up. Sally, early 30s, single. Her first time buying a new apartment in Leeds city centre. Works for an insurance company. Enjoys reading the newspaper and drinking a macchiato at her nearby coffee shop. Tech fanatic and enjoys getting the latest gadgets. Graduated with a degree in history. A bit of a grammar nerd. Appreciates quality. Okay, so that's just to give you an idea of two personas, of two very different companies. The more detail you can provide, the better. It really does help. And just use your creative side of your mind there, just to envisage this and to build it up. Sometimes it can be difficult when you don't have clients yet, but the more you do research, you have a look at your the peers who are in related businesses and industries, your competitors, you can see all of them and you can work out to who you're particularly targeting, how it is different, your unique selling point, what you offer, which is different than all the rest. And then the persona. Okay, so use a pen portrait. So first of all, we've got a couple of different things to keep into mind when you're going through the whole process. There's gender, name, age, where do they live? Marital status, very important. As I mentioned before, it changes when you do become married. Job status, very important as well. Children, earnings, hobbies, interests, values, things they care about. job title, budget owner, decision maker, industry, and then talents, ambitions, politics. All of those different elements will really change your persona quite a bit. I know you're going for the sort of general sort of one, which you're just going to start with and everything, but you can, if you can create that, it's really good. And then this will help you really bubble down the essence of who you're really speaking to, give you an idea, give you a starter with that one. Don't forget, when I finish giving this talk, up till 24 hours, you can watch the video. So you can come back, you can see the chat and everything. It's all there. So that's up to 24 hours after I finished. If you miss out on it and you don't manage to see it, it's the same URL and everything, same address. If you miss out on it, don't forget, or there's some technical problems, which sometimes we have, you can book for another session, writing for social media. Great opportunity. So, if you missed anything or you want to go over anything. All right. Okay, now, what describes the personality of your brand or business? This is how they actually speak. Okay. And so, excellent. We've got Martin Beaumont was saying, you seem to have the same tone and charisma as Kiefer Sutherland. Brilliant. Thank you. That's great. Absolutely. Very true. Okay, so what describes the personality of your brand or business? How you speak. So now we've kind of building this all up and everything. We're now at the stage where we're ready to try this for your business. Now, I pick anywhere between 3 to 5 descriptive words to form a basis for how you communicate online. Again, sort of like 3 to 5. Always cut it down. So you've got a sort of, those are the kind of pillars, as it were. These are the principles. This is what we're going to keep consistent with. So you can then use these adjectives to sense check all the copy you're writing, and it will help you to tweak it where necessary. All right, so here we've got, for example, Minico's Pizzeria, charm, authenticity, family. Those are the 3 things which are really important. Hathaway Legal, powerful, efficient, experienced. I know we sort of covered this a little bit before, but if you can communicate a couple of those, that'd be fabulous. The more you go over this, the more practice, the better, So if you communicate those 3 things, just to recount there, what describes the personality of your brand or business, how you speak. So if you share with us some of those, I've got to watch a little bit on the clock because I'm enlarging a little bit too much on some of these, but and then the 4th stage. But anyway, so that gives you a chance. Do go through those and share them with us if you have a chance. The 3 words, which really describe it. So here we've got charm, authenticity, family, powerful, efficient, experienced. Okay. I think in another of our talks, actually, we give a whole list of all sorts of different words to help you. But anyway, that's to get you started. Next one, 4, choose your words. Create some guidelines, for the words you will and won't use. Now, some of the common lexicon that comes up again and again are ways of greeting people, ways of signing off, thanking people and that kind of thing. How you describe your products. Very important. A lot of people go onto YouTube. I go onto YouTube too, to see the products and how people are describing them and everything. The words you use to describe your customer. Are you formal or informal? So there's a couple of the different things. So here we're going to look at our particular amazing examples here, Nico's Pizzeria and Hathaway Legal. We're going to have a look at some of the different words that they've decided to use and not use. And what they've done is they've come up with some different words, some different examples here that they've come up with. For example, that they would never use. So Nico's Pizzeria would never use customer. Would never use eat. Sorry, I couldn't quite see it was crossed out. So customer and eat, they will not use. Hi, no. Too casual, maybe? I don't know. Restaurant, they wouldn't use that. They can use a little bit sometimes is ciao. I mean, it's Italian pizzeria. Hello. Okay. A little bit more formal. A little bit more formal than hi, so showing maybe a little bit more respect in that way. Oh, excellent. We've got some coming up. Oh, excellent. So, William, we've got efficient, professional, and honesty. Sorry, going back to the previous one. Mark, we've got trust, transparency, and value. Excellent. Christelle, you're struggling with this. Okay, it's jewelry, actually. specifically wedding couples. Okay, they are all so different. Absolutely, absolutely. So, Christelle, you'll probably be dividing into segregating into different groups. So, yeah, maybe once you segregated and you worked out those different groups, maybe you can bring a sort of consensus. These are our main, I don't know, just an idea. Connect, kind, compassionate, present, health, epicure, efficient, healthy, well-being. Excellent. Hello, the Mars. And then we've got Ada, knowledgeable, passionate, fun. Excellent. And still considering fun. Okay, great. Francesca, creative, conscientious, reliable. Okay, I better not look at any of those because I'm running out of time. So anyway, this is fabulous, all your contribution. I really love it. Just so those are the words. So ciao, hello, patron, and enjoy. But the ones they would often use is fresh, welcome, appetizing. Great words for them. Let's work the other way with Hathaway Legal. The words they would always use is kind regards, very quite formal, excellent, thank you. The ones they would sometimes use is great, but it's a little bit sort of casual. And then the ones that would not use is, okay, they don't like best wishes. I don't know why, but they don't like best wishes. That's what they've decided. That's how they represent themselves. Cheers. That's very casual. Fab. Okay. Very too casual. And thanks. No, thank you. So all of these things are very important. It might feel, like there's not much difference, but this consistency is so incredibly important for a brand. All right. So pausing for questions. Let me just see if there's any. Okay, there's no questions, but there's great contribution, which is just fabulous. Let me just look at some of the other ones we've got here, because we've got here Charlotte, caring, respectful, and supportive. Excellent. So Helen, mindfulness, peace, honest. Wow, excellent. Some of these businesses I must check out, actually. And Beatrice, who working across age groups. Okay, absolutely, can be a problem for your intended client. Absolutely. Well, don't worry. If you need to segregate it, Beatrice, and you can't really combine them or have things in common, that's absolutely fine. If you just work with those, segregate them to groups. And then I'm afraid there'll be more work for you to have to do, but at the same time, you're making sure that you're targeting those particular segregated groups. Okay. Excellent. Let me just see now. Sarah, could you also ask some of your, absolutely, ask your customers what words they would use to describe the service. Absolutely. And what they would appreciate. Excellent. I love it. Sarah, that's a great idea. The big thing is we do talk about, of course, in all our different talks, we talk about getting data from the internet. Sorry, I know most people say data. I say data, got to be different. But you get the data from the internet, and that can help you masses with Google Analytics and everything, Google Search Console, for example. But the point is, if you've got a customer in front of you, take advantage of that, please. Just to give you an example, I have a 2D, 3D, and whiteboard animation company, and I got contacted by one of the top 3 consultancy companies. They wanted to know whether to use 2D or 3D animation for their client. So I called them back, and I gave them the pros and cons of 2D and 3D, and also I mentioned whiteboard animation, which my company specializes. And she said, thank you very much. I didn't try to sell anything or anything like that. But 5 or 6 hours later, they called me back. And the big thing is, of course, this is when we're talking about blog and everything. The whole point is you're helping people. And I don't know about you, but I go on the internet often not to buy stuff. I'm going there to get opinion between different kinds of boots, maybe, or I'm going to get make decisions about different things or find out about something. And if you're providing that, of course, in the process, you're showing that you're the expert. And if it's on your website, of course, people see that. So it's a very useful element. But, it's because they spoke to me as well, that outdoes anything else. So, of course, the people you speak to, find out from them. And the questions they ask, you could use for blogs as well. If you get a sort of general consensus of typical questions that come up. So, absolutely, really great point, Sarah. Thank you so much. Okay, let us move on to the next section. I'm sort of running out of time. This is so wonderful. You're communicating so much, so interactive, and everything's fabulous. But anyway, let's down onto this. Writing for social media. Actually, yeah, this can go a little bit quicker. So we're going to go through some guiding principles for writing for social media. Unfortunately, with our old version of this, we used to interact a little bit, and we could look at some examples. Unfortunately, we don't, but we're still going to look at some things to help you and assist you here. Okay, there's a great quotation here. I'm not sure if it should be attributed to Blaise Pascal or Winston Churchill, not totally sure, but it really reigns true for social media. I would have written a shorter letter, but I did not have the time. Okay. And it seems contradictory, but if you really spend a lot of time on it, you actually sum it down to a shorter letter. If you just keep writing, often you're not thinking it through as much as possible, So this is the whole thing, reducing it, summing it down to a shorter impact. Because don't forget, people have little patience, they have little time, and if there's a long paragraph, they're just going to leave often. So it's making sure, so that's a big thing. The shorter letter can actually include more impact than something which is very long. I used to lecture in coding for game design for many years, and I was later consultant for coding for game design. And I do remember so many students coming along with their essays, and I was like, okay. And it was one long sentence, which was like so many lines. I mean, obviously, that's the worst kind of situation where it's just, of course they need to get concise and need to reduce it and all the rest. But the whole thing is, of course, people have little time. They want to get the information fast. So let's go through a couple of different things here. So we've got here the average human attention span is now 8.25 seconds. I mean, sometimes I think it's much shorter, well, with me too. And we do go through things very fast, with our thumb, It seems unfair that we're likening us to goldfish. But if you think about it, if you go into a supermarket, there's so many different choices. There's so many different kinds of food, there's just so much choice. We tend to just go, just take that, just like we don't want so much choices to have to make half the time. And it's the same thing when you're scanning through something. You're looking for something which is interesting, which will grab your attention, which you want to look into. So we'll read through very briefly, and this brings up the next thing here. Assume your reader will only read, okay, the first half of your sentence. The whole point is we only read the first half because we're speed reading through this thing. We just pick up the little bits. So the whole point is, imagine they only watch the first 2 to 3 seconds. Remember that first half, will they be engaged immediately? Will they be intrigued enough to carry on? Things like images you can use as well. Of course, captures often attention. That's why often when we're talking about marketing, we talk about search campaigns and we talk about display campaigns. Display campaigns often are the better because, well, the quicker. Not the better, there's no better or anything with this, but often display campaigns work quite well because people see the image and we pick up images very quickly, and we even subconsciously take some stuff in quicker than that way sometimes. But anyway, when we're talking about text, it's that first half of a sentence that's what will grab people's attention. So assume that they will only read that. So all right, and focus on the user. Are they looking for something to bust their boredom, which often is the case? Do they want something to entertain them? Do they want to learn something new? Do they want to win something? There's a motivators. So focus on the user. It really does mean empathizing about what people are interested in, what they need. Okay, so that particularly. Now, use benefits versus features. Now, I'm a tech geek. I'll look at something and I'll often want to know lots of all sorts of tech jargon words, which I'll research into and find out about. But the truth of the matter is the benefits will often win me first. That, even though I'm such a tech geek. Okay, for example, the new gadget watch. We've got waterproof up to 5 meters. Okay, that's great. Oh, wonderful. But the benefits are take it swimming. You can just imagine that. Oh, okay, great. I can swim with it. Yeah, all right, I'll buy it. 5mm thick glass. It's smash resistant. You've seen those videos, haven't you, on YouTube and everything, where they say, I'll take this computer, drop it and everything. And it's not smashed and everything and all that kind of side. And that's kind of what catches our attention. Comes in black, white, blue, or gold. Okay, great. Well, that's still limited and everything. Choose a color to suit your personality. Okay. Now you're speaking my language, for example. Spherical interface. What's that? I can look at it from all different, okay, comfort and style, So all of these different things, benefits first before the features, all right? Here we've got some examples of reading that first half. So boost your CV with a free. People will be captured often with that. Digital marketing course. If you started often with digital, unless they're looking for digital marketing course, okay, fair enough. But if you started with just a digital marketing course, often people will think, oh, it's going to cost them. No. But if you got the boost your CV with a free, that's immediately the benefits. Then we got get product and engineering on the same page. Okay, so maybe the product and engineering, getting them together. And then we've got the product roadmap software. Now, of course, we've seen lots of product roadmap software, and a lot of it, some have been really good, but of course, we can only use one often roadmap software. So if it starts with product roadmap software, product pay, what is it? Roadmap, okay, software, and it just takes too long to read that. But get product and engineering on the same page captures their interest. Get a free coffee roasting kit. Okay, great. Where can I get that? Whereas if it starts when you try 3 bags of our roasting coffee, that people are just going, no, nothing, I don't want that thing. But of course, it's that free coffee roasting kit which captures people's attention. Use clear and simple versus complicated language, okay? Or what's often called jargon. So clear and simple versus complicated language. Now, I've worked with one of the top 3 consultancy companies, and what is quite interesting, sometimes they would say something to me and I go, I'm so sorry, what did you just say? And then they go, oh, sorry, that's our internal language. And there's internal language, and you've got to be aware of these things. You've got to make sure that it's the way that people speak and they understand and everything that's clear and simple. So let me just give you some examples. Clear and simple language. Reader friendly. Okay, great. Clear, nice and clear. Structured. All right, we can understand this so far. Uncomplicated sentences. Everyday words. All right. All of those different things. Clear, structured, uncomplicated sentences. I can say the word. Everyday words. Complicated language, technical terms. Oh dear. Internal language, which I was mentioning. Companies, once you worked in a company for a certain number of years, you start to acquire their internal language. And more people from the outside world won't understand what on earth you're talking about. Or they won't laugh at the things that your company finds so funny because, of course, it's a different language. Jargon, okay, there's a lot of jargon, and of course we come across a lot in our talks with jargon, and we try to avoid it. And I don't know if you've noticed in a lot of our Google Digital Garage talks is to try and make it simpler so the business person or person from the street and everything can understand what we're talking about, which is often quite difficult. But jargon should be avoided as much as possible. Acronyms, where some people understand the acronym and then some people won't know what on earth you're talking about. Flowery language, beautiful flowery language, and then they think, what is this? Am I reading a novel here, or is this something to help me? Unnecessary words, it's just cutting it down. Otherwise, people get started and like, oh my goodness, and then move on. So, how can you cut your copy but keep the same meaning? This is very important. You've got to have that meaning there, but you're cutting your copy. Okay. Now, one of the big things that you'll come across is handling customer complaints on social media. Now, the point is, you've got to always try to be polite and professional. Respond without accepting responsibility yet. Ask them to contact you directly to resolve it. Take it away from the general public, so people aren't sitting out and watching this whole thing between you and this person who is giving such a negative review. Remember, you have the opportunity to turn a negative into a massive positive. Now, we're going to give you an example here, which I feel is quite a good example. Now, if the discussion is getting heated or potentially damaging, suggest private email or direct mail just to take it away from the public arena. The thing is, you're going to be try and be proactive, no matter how much it's, you probably heard this term of a troll who keeps on attacking this website, attacking, and you will notice to a certain extent sometimes road rage occurs on the internet when people are writing up about the person's gadget or whatever they're selling, whatever great service they're providing. You will tend to notice there are collections to a certain extent of people like that. The point is, if you can respond positively, professionally, proactively, and take it away from the public arena, you are doing what you can. Now, I have seen sometimes clients of that same company standing up for the company. It's just gets too complicated. But the point is being polite, professional, proactive, and taking away from the public arena. Main things there. Big thing is avoid passive language. Use an active voice. It will really help make your writing clear, concise, and to the point. So avoid passive language. And the big thing is, how can you fix the problem? Focus on acknowledging what they've said and fixing, not empty empathizing. Oh, I'm so sorry that happened. Oh, it's such a shame, isn't it? That's not the way to go. You are acknowledging, fixing, not empty empathizing, and don't say stuff you don't actually mean. All right. Of course, being jokey has a time and place. Of course, especially when money is involved, you need a serious response. If it's something comical, you may want to come back with a slightly tongue-in-cheek remark, but don't, please. Okay. All right. Sign off with a name. Sign off with a name and an email or some way of contacting your company. Obviously, you're not going to put your mobile on there, but of course, if it's a company mobile and it's only used for that purpose or something like that, then fair enough. But ideally, an email, they can send an email to you and you can communicate with them through that. Okay. All right. All right. How would you handle this complaint? I'm going to go through a couple of different things here. And I'll take myself off the screen. Farewell, but you'll still be able to hear me. So let's have a look at this. Look, I ordered a mobile from your company last week, but when it arrived, it was badly damaged. When I called to complain, I was rudely told you don't accept returns and that I need to contact the delivery company for compensation. Is this really how you treat loyal customers? I will never buy from you again. Hopeless. Okay, so that is one you've got. Sorry, I had to add in a little bit of, because of course I'm trained as an actor, I add in a little bit of the tone to the complaint. So think about that. How would you respond to that? How could you take it, professionally, positively, taking it, acknowledging it and everything, showing respect and showing that you really want to fix this problem and solve this problem. Okay. So, all right, let's have a look at this example. This example has been put together to really sort of take all of these different things that I've mentioned so far into context, and really come through with this response, which gives you a nice, clear idea. All right, so here we go. I'm going to take myself off again. Hello, customer. Our sincere apologies for the inconvenience caused and the poor customer service you received. It fell below our usually high standards. We value your patronage and will launch a full investigation into why our team provided you with misinformation and didn't treat you with the full respect that you deserve. Please contact me on my direct email and we can organize a full compensation or replacement for you. Hannah. Okay, so there we've got, responding in a positive, proactive, fixing the problem, all those different things that we've mentioned, not using the passive, not saying jokey sort of style or anything like that, but really taking that person seriously and showing respect for that person and the situation, and also stating things like, I'm, for the inconvenience caused and the poor customer service. So immediately you are we are shocked. It fell below our usually high standards. So in the statement, you are saying this is not the way it should be. We have high standards, as well as, of course, apologizing for it. And then, of course, we value you showing full respect. We value your patronage, and will launch a full investigation into the misenfortunate, and didn't treat you with the full respect that you deserve. So all of these things, you're showing full respect, and showing as well this is way below our high standards and everything. And then, of course, in the final paragraph, taking it out of the public arena, please contact me on my direct email. We can organize a full conversation or replacement for you. Okay. Excellent. Pausing for questions. No questions. I gather the chat has been very busy with comments and everything, which is fabulous. Just a great opportunity. I'm sure Glenn has been working, no end there, answering all your different questions. It's so great. We love to communicate with you and get all these questions and the contributions and all the rest. So let me just say thank you so much for taking part in this. This is the whole point. The more you take part, the better it is for us and for you as well, because you can learn stuff, you can find out stuff, you can try stuff out, you can play around, and the more you can do this, the better. So that's fabulous. I'm really pleased to hear that. Okay, so let me now move on to the last and third section. We've only got 8 minutes, but I think I can sort of wrap this up here with this time I've got left. Your toolkit for content marketing. All right, now I'm going to go through a couple of different things here. Glenn, thanks so much. You'll be providing some different links and everything to help you with some of the different things to help you. All right, the toolkit. So let's go through these. Now, there is often, when you're typing and everything, often we don't remember our grammar, whether English is our native language or not. We often type away and we're not actually thinking the full grammar, because maybe even we don't even communicate that way sometimes when we're communicating with our mates. The point is, there's software called Grammarly, and Grammarly actually checks all your writing for grammar mistakes and can be added as an extension on your browser, which is really useful. So that's called Grammarly. Okay, and also there's different. So that's one particularly. Excuse me. So that's Grammarly. There's also. I'm not quite sure with those ones. Okay, cool. So that one I would recommend. And then for creating engaging visuals, the big thing, you want eye-catching photographs. You want to be able to edit the photos as well. You ideally want to use certain templates. You don't have to create the whole thing yourself. And then, of course, there's graphic design apps as well. So there's all of those different areas. Now, for toolkits for those particularly, obviously, you want to take good photos. Now, VSCO Cam is an easy-to-use photo editing app with a library of different film-like presets on offer, which are when I'm talking about templates, presets, with easy-to-use tools, allowing you to replicate edits across all images to keep a consistent theme. Sorry, I need some water here. So that's VSCO. Another one which is very popular nowadays as well, you've probably heard of it, Canva, Canva. Canva is an easy-to-use free graphic design app on mobile and desktop. You can create your own designs or use templates for a variety of formats, providing sizes for social media posts catered to each network. I'm going to mention some other ones. If you're really into, there's another one as well, WordSwag. Turns your words into photo text designs, allowing you to make graphics for your social channels. Hundreds of text quotes and templates are available to make it easy to get inspiration. So that's WordSwag. I'm going to mention some other things. Now, these are a little bit more advanced with some of the different things I'm mentioning to you. And of course, you don't have to invest in the money. But if you really do want to spend a lot of time and you're really into images and maybe you work in images already, I don't know, but you might have heard, of course, of Photoshop, which is very well known. So that's great. There's another one called Affinity. Affinity. Now, Affinity has done a thing. Of course, I did 2D, 3D, and whiteboard animation. It has got Affinity Design. It's got Affinity Photo. It's got Affinity Publisher as well, which is kind of competing with InDesign. So those are some examples, and you pay once. I mean, that's one of the advantages of those pieces of software. They are more complicated. You can buy a big book with illustrators using all these different things, but I thought I'd mention it. It's a great, they're great apps. So that's Affinity. All right, so those are some of the different things, but don't forget, if you're wanting to, Canva will probably answer a lot of your different needs, in VSCO, for example. Okay, smartphone and selfie stick. The most simple tools to start creating content, allow you to take photos and videos of yourself as though you had a cameraman. That's one particular way. Of course, you can set up tripods as well. All right, pausing for questions. Charlotte, let me see now. What would you suggest if comments are repeated from the same customer once the issue? Oh, very good question, Charlotte. What I'd recommend, the point is you are providing for them a link. So from that point on, they should be able to take it off the public arena. So you're giving them that opportunity. What I'd recommend you do, this is just my own personal recommendation, I would recommend that you actually respond again to that person saying a sort of summarized version of what you put, not the whole thing, but I'm so sorry, but it would be really great if you can communicate with me. This is my email. So you've responded positively, proactively, trying to solve these different things. The second one, you were saying that, replicating a little bit of that, saying, I'm so sorry, but please do communicate with me. That's the way we can communicate personally. So you've given it twice now, you know what I mean? If they do still continue, then just shorten it to, I still hear you and I'm so sorry, but please do communicate. I need to communicate with you personally on this one. And then after that, I'm afraid you can't do much. You do get to a certain extent around the world, we've always got what's nicknamed sort of, well, the term given to it, trolls, where they just keep on coming with a negative. The point is, you have done your best to respond. People will see that. I mean, when I go and buy something, like on Amazon, I mean, often there's negative one and there's no response, but if it's not much I'm spending, I might. But if it's something expensive or something I really value, then of course I will look at those kind of things, Charlotte, that you're talking about, and I will really look for the response. And if you've responded twice or three times, shorter and shorter each time, but you're providing the link and they're not responding, I'm like, okay, I'm going to listen to Charlotte. I'm not going to listen to that other person. So that's what I'd recommend. I hope that helps. This is just my own personal advice, okay, from my own experience. Okay, so what are your next steps? We have now covered everything. It's been fabulous working with all of you. It's been really great. I think Glenn's really appreciated it as well. It's so nice to talk to people communicating and got questions and contributions and everything's fabulous. And that's the whole point of these things. So anyway, going down, there's a lot we've covered in these slides and everything. The point is, what are your next steps? Try and summarize it down to the next things you're going to do. Maybe 3, maybe maximum 4. Just bring it down to what you're going to do, and then just get things going. That's what I recommend. So, you can go back onto this talk up to 24 hours after I finish, which will be in 2 minutes. So it's, do take advantage of that. Okay. And also don't forget there's a lot of different webinars as well, totally free and everything. The other thing is free one-to-one mentoring, which is available from Google. So it could be speaking to one of us, great opportunity. If you work for a small business or charity in the UK at the moment, I'm afraid, hopefully eventually expand, or you have a small business or charity in the UK, you can speak to us. Okay, so do take that link and everything and take advantage of that, because we're here to assist you, here to help, and it's totally free. There's no charge. Okay. All right, I'm in time. Wonderful. So everyone, thank you for all of your questions, your contributions. It's just been fabulous. It's been really nice. It's really nice to communicate with people who, that's what you're here for, to help you and assist you and communicate with you. So we are now going to wrap up here, as we are now finally running out of time. I hope that has been a really useful dive, into this particular side of writing for social media. Okay. Now, as I mentioned at the beginning of the session, if you're interested in more training from Google Digital Garage, there are a few ways you can continue learning. We are running many more Google Digital Garage webinars in different subjects. If you would like to check out the schedule of our webinars, please see information on this in the description below. There will be different topics available to watch. We will be updated to the schedule regularly. So also, if you'd like to carry on learning online in your own time, check out the Google Digital Garage website for more online training courses, which are available to you 24/7. For example, Fundamentals of Digital Marketing, I recommend. It's 20 hours long, but it's in little videos and everything. I do recommend that you should enjoy it. So I want to thank you, everyone, for joining today, contributing, questioning everything. I want to thank Glenn. You've been absolutely fabulous. I also want to say wonderful thank you to Wenta. It's been great being here in partnership with Wenta and everything. We look forward to welcoming you again to another Google Digital Garage training session soon.